Welcome to my new video about
How to make a bad introduction.
what?
That was really boring.
Well then, how would you introduce a video on YouTube?
I don't know. I might sing a song.
Alright then, feel free.
I kissed a girl and I liked it.
Wow, that was really impressive. Much better than my introduction.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Alright guys, let's stop it here. So this is what we will build today. So we will split up the video in two parts. We will first make this voice to text functionality available in this video, and in the second one we will program the bot to answer to our statements and put it on the screen. All right, let's start getting our hands dirty. I already created a CSS file for some styling here because we don't want to care about styling today. We want to care about voice recognition with JavaScript. So for this, let's create a new file, index.html, and let's spin up a basic HTML construct here. Let's give it a title, chatbot, because in the end, after the second video, we will have a full working chatbot here. And let's include our CSS file here. So link rel equals style sheet type, equals text slash CSS, and the link can be found here, main CSS. All right, then let's come to the HTML. So we need two elements wrapped in a div. So let's create a div first of all, ID equals container, and let's close the div. Oh, sorry. And as mentioned, we need two elements. First one is a button, but for styling reasons, let's create an A tag here or use an A tag here. Let's give it a class voice, and let's point it to some dummy here. And let's call this button activate voice. And let's close it. Next, we need a simple paragraph, and we will give it a name voice to text, class voice to text. And let's close it. So the idea is basically when we click this button here, our voice gets activated, and afterwards it gets printed out here in the paragraph voice to text. Then let's get our hands dirty with JavaScript. So let's create a new file, main.js. And first of all, let's interlink it here. So let's create a new script tag here. Script source equals main.js. And that's it, close it again. All right, so let's have a look, a first look in the browser, how the static website looks like. Let me open it with Google Chrome. And as mentioned, I added some styling in before that it looks a little bit nice, but in the end you have this A tag here. Let me just call it a button. And you have a P tag, a paragraph tag below, in which later on, when we speak something to our microphone, that the text get displayed here below. All right, that's the idea. Let me already spin up a developer console here. So the developer tools and the console for later. So currently nothing happens here. Nice. Back to our code, main.js. So first of all, let's read in our two HTML elements here. So for this, let's create two variables. One, I think let's simply take the name, the same name. So let's call them const voice equals document dot query selector, and the class name was voice. And the next one, voice to text equals document query selector. dot voice to text, and JavaScript requires semicolons, right? So far so good. Now we need or we make use of the speech recognition. If you Google for it, there's also quite good documentation. So we can just spin up speech recognition. That's a tricky word. I hope I don't have any typos. Recognition is equal to window speech recognition, or depending on your browser, window.webkit speech recognition. One more time. I hope no typos. All right, next, let's create a variable. Let me call it recorder, which instantiates a new speech recognition like this. So with this, we are instantiating speech recognition, and speech recognition, as mentioned, has a quite good documentation with all the parameters, methods, triggers we can use. And I'll show you some of them today. So first of all, we'll make use of the start method. So basically here, this voice is our button here. And for this, we'll add an event listener first of all. So add event listener on click. So we want to that something happens when we click on the button, basically. And then let's spin up a function here. And don't forget the semicolon. And when we click the button, basically we want the recorder to start. So the variable here, the speech recognition, should start then. And that's it. So when we click the button, start the speech recognition. But we need to do some more. So for first documentation reasons, let's just see what the recorder should do when we start basically the speech recognition. So for this, let's create a new arrow function here like this. And first of all, let's print out what happens. So or let's print out basically that the user is informed that the voice is activated now. So voice activated. And last but not least, we need to make use of recorder on result. So whenever the talking is over, something should happen, and this basically gets an event from the event listener with the actual content of our voice or our speak. So let's create an arrow function again here, and in a first step, let's simply print out the event console.log event. So let's try it and let's run it in the browser. So oops, like this. Let me refresh. And let's see what happens when I click the button now. So clicking activate voice, and there's a pop-up to allow the browser to use a microphone. So let's allow it. Hello again. And you see, so first of all, on start voice get activated, and on result, whatever I talk to the microphone gets printed to the console. And actually, this is kind of big data set here with a lot of stuff. And I don't know what's in here. So I can't tell you everything on this. I think we need to go to the documentation, but I think there's a lot of meaningful information here. But what is the most important one is this result index 0 and the array afterwards. So result index 0 and then results. And here again, this 0. And let me open it again, another 0. And here you see our transcript, again, a tricky word, hello again. So this contains actually the words we were speaking. So let's try again. Activate voice, allow microphone. How are you today? And again, it get printed to the console. Let's move to result index 0, results 0, 0, and here's our transcript. How are you today? Nice. And basically this transcript, so whatever we said, we want to print into our voice to text element here. So basically we need to move through this array, but let's try it. So let's move back to our code and replace this console log with some stuff. So let's call it const result index equals event result index. So basically, this result index is 0. We want to get here an unknown variable. Next, let's call it transcript. So transcript equals, and now from the event, we need to move into the results. Within the results, we need to use the index from the result index. So the 0, then we need another 0, and then we need the dot transcript. All right, and now let's simply add it to our paragraph here. So voice to text dot text content, and this equals transcript. Let's run it. So let me refresh it. Allow microphone. Hello there. And it gets printed. One more time. How are you today? And it gets printed. Nice, isn't it? So yeah, but let's make it a little bit more beautiful, because later we want to interact with our bot, with our machine basically, and we want to display it as a chat, so that whatever I say is printed in a kind of box, and whatever the computer answers is printed in a different colored box, like for example a WhatsApp chat. And let's have a look on how to achieve this. All right, so let's start making this more beautiful. Let's start in the index HTML. So basically, instead of a paragraph element here, I will add some more stuff. So in the end, it should look like the following. So we will have one div for whatever we say, and we will create another div for whatever the bot answers. So the first div, let's give it a class chat container like this. Let's close it first of all. And let's simply put in p class. Basically, we can just copy it from here. So let's just copy it, and let's, for the beginning, add some basic text like hi there, just that you get an impression of how it looks like. And then we will add another div group here for the chat, which comes back from the bot later on. Let's give it an additional class name to style it a little bit different here. And let's enter a sample text like this. So this is how it should look like later on. And let's have a look on this in the browser. So as you see here, the color is white now. This is not nice. So perhaps let me change it to black and refresh it. So this is how it should look like later on. So whenever I activate this button and I speak, it should get displayed here in this kind of white box. And whenever the bot answered, it should be displayed here in the green box. All right, let's focus in this video here on the white box. The green box will come in the second video. Right, then let's move back, or first of all, let's comment it out because we need to add it dynamically, basically. So like this, and we will add it within. So we will do exactly the same here. We will add those elements now from JavaScript. And for this, we will write a function. So let's write a function, and let's call it add human text. And we will get some text input here later. So basically this transcript will later on be forwarded here to this function to include the text. And now let's create some HTML. So const chat container equals document create element. And first of all, we are creating this div here. So let's go back to our HTML. First of all, we create this div here. And basically it's chat minus container. That's the class name which we need to add now. So first of all, we created the div. And to the div now, we need to create this class here, chat container. Let me copy it. And for this, we will make use of chat container dot class list dot add, and we will simply add this class here. Now we got the div element created. Next, we need to create this paragraph element here with class name voice to text. So let's name it const chat box equals document create element paragraph like this, and let's add a class here to the chat box. So class list.add voice to text. All right. Next, let's let me think. So last one, we need of course the text. So we need a chat text, so to say, and this we can establish with document create text node. And actually we will hand over the text we are getting when calling the function. So we will add a text, and this text now we will append to our chat box. So chat box dot append child chat text. And last but not least, we need to attach the chat box also to the chat container. Otherwise, they are two loosely coupled elements here. And for this, we need to also use the chat container dot append child, and we need to append the chat box here. So, and then at the end, we will just return the chat container. So one more time, what did we do here? We created a div with a class chat container. We created a paragraph with a class voice to text. Then we create a text element for whatever text we are getting into the function, and we are appending this text to the paragraph element. And then at the end, we are appending the paragraph element to our div element, and then we return our div. Nice. This is our function add human text. Now we need to change the recorder on result here, because we don't want to display it only here. We want to basically use this function here to display it in the chat container. So let's comment it out for now, and let's first of all query our element. So element like this, and document dot get element by ID, and basically we are referring now to this mother or parent element here below which we want to create this div. So div ID is container here. Let's query it container, and then let's simply append a child to it. So element dot append child, and here we will now execute our human add human text function with the transcript as text. So what are we doing now here? Basically here in this variable transcript, we will get the text of whatever we speak to the microphone, and we will hand this over to the add human text function, which I just explained. And this will return this chat container and appends it to our parent container here. That's it. Let's run it. Let's try it. Let's refresh it and activate the voice. Allow the microphone. Hi there. Oh, it got something from the statement before, but it looks like this. So let me do one more. So how are you today? And it gets printed here. So one more statement, the last one for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will watch my second video also. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will watch my second video also. So see you soon and have a nice day. Bye bye.